Welcome back to Open Line tonight. We are talking about the latest developments in the Waffle House shooting. It happened early yesterday morning. The capture of the suspect, Travis Reinking, unfolded at 1 o'clock today. One thing I just can't stop thinking about is the woman, her name is Lydia French, who spotted Reinking coming out of that wooded area, immediately recognized him, thought he was acting very suspiciously, and she got on the phone with police. She called 911, and she said that police got there quick. We learned that there were 160 officers out there looking for him today. Of course, they have been doing this since 3:30 yesterday morning, looking for Reinking. This is the video we captured. Actually, we didn't capture it. It was a viewer who shared it with us. She was looking at her apartment window and captured him being taken into custody, loaded into that car right there by officers, and then he was taken to Nashville General Hospital, where he spent about 3 hours this afternoon being medically evaluated, and then taken to the booking office and booked and given that $2 million bond. I do want to hop right back to the lines. We got a lot of people who want to talk about this. William's up first. Hi, William.
Hey.
Go ahead.
I mean, what can I say? How many times we got to see all these children on and on and on, and it looks like the United States. We have like over 5,000 laws that are in the book. But when it comes to what somebody done, the interpretation becomes whether you white or you black or you rich or you not rich. There are a lot of, back door deal going on between the rich people and the district attorney and judges and the district attorney and prosecutors. So the people that are getting in trouble are poor people. My life was destroyed for nothing. I did not have guns. Somebody scared me, and that was the problem. And I ended up being convicted for nothing and ending up losing my job. Now I'm sitting here, just looking for a job. Nobody wanted to give me a job. And it was just, I was practicing my First Amendment. I am mad. Being scammed, and that was not a crime because they saw me. I'm not from here, and they put all of this junk. It does not matter. I work for my thing to deserve it. But if you are certain person, these laws are not going to help. They can pass restrictions, and then when the police comes, somebody calls them, and they say, when the police show up, and they see you in a nice house, your father is a lawyer or is a doctor, they're going to lower that charges. They're not going to line you up.
Right. I hear your frustration, William, and I know it is frustration of a lot of people. And I would say with the intense media scrutiny on this case, there are going to be a lot of questions asked, at least about this case and about how this has been allowed to happen. Why was this man allowed to have these guns? Why weren't interventions taken several times in the past, even before this White House incident, when he had interactions with police, when they knew he had mental issues, and they also knew that he was armed, that he had several guns in his possession? Why wasn't anything done? Why weren't those guns taken? Could they have taken them? Was it easy to take them? Did law stand in the way of police immediately seizing the weapons? I don't know. These are questions that I would like to ask and get answered. Let's talk to Bronson, who's been holding on the line for quite some time. Bronson, thank you for your patience.
Yes. First thing in all, I'd like to say prayers to all the family that had lost loved ones. But I still say that gun control ain't got nothing to do with it. It's all and just like that young man, he's got mental problems. It ain't something to do with the guns. There's thousands and thousands of people live in the community that own guns. You don't ever hear nobody having a problem like that without they've got some kind of mental problem. They keep hollering gun control, gun control. It ain't gun control the problem. It's the people that got mental problems, or a bully's jumped onto somebody that caused all the problem. It ain't got nothing to do with guns. It ain't the gun's fault. The gun don't shoot without somebody picks it up.
All right. Thank you, Bronson, for calling in. I know a lot of people share that sentiment. And, I get that. I get what you are saying. In this instance, I just go back to, it's great. If the father can be charged at this point, that's one thing. He faces a charge and he faces legal problems going forward. But maybe had he known if there was a law that he could break it, or if there, it's the federal authorities couldn't even tell us that there was definitely a law that he broke, or a state law. Is there something that should have said you cannot give the guns to a relative? These guns need to be seized and locked away so that this young man could not have gotten them back in his possession, that the father didn't even have the opportunity to give them back to his son. It just seems like there should have been something else in place to keep this from happening, because that young man couldn't have picked up that gun. And Bronson, in your point, let the gun do the damage that it did. Let's talk to Garland now, who's on the line. Garland, thank you for calling in.
Yes, ma'am. I'm glad to talk to you. And I want you to know there ain't a gun in this world that will hurt anybody.
There's not a what? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
There's not a gun in this world that will hurt anybody. It's the person behind the gun. That boy's daddy, I'm not going to call names or nothing, but that boy's daddy, I feel like is just as guilty as he is for letting that boy have them firearms back. I teach a lot of kids how to use guns. They use them safe. I had my own grandson shoot a rifle at 2-year-old. I taught him how to use a gun the way he's to use a gun. There's where the problem is. The law won't step in. The law can't. Their hands are tied, honey. I really don't know how to explain the way I feel about it. That boy shouldn't have never had no access to the gun. Now, I don't know you, but I hope and pray that you have a handgun carry permit yourself. So I even take a pistol to church with me. I had to use it one Sunday. I didn't have to draw it on them, but I just had to let them know. It was on Channel 5 News. They called them in Franklin, Tennessee. I should have held them there, but I didn't. So when it comes down to where everybody wants to blame it on the guns, stop the guns, stop the guns, that's second constitutional right.
Right.
Back in 1800s, people had to have guns to have something to eat. Guns will not hurt you. I've been around them. I cut my teeth on one.
But I guess the question is, how can we have laws, have policies in place to keep guns out of the hands of people who do intend to do harm, and they use a gun to do that? Because that's where we're falling short. Clearly, in this case, is a prime example of that.
We sure are, honey. That's the reason why I'm saying that boy's daddy, him knowing that boy's in the shape he was in, let him have them guns back. He never should have let him have them guns back.
Yeah.
Now, it's like the law's hands are tied. Bad.
It is sad. I try to put myself in the shoes of those Tazewell County deputies who have dealt with Travis Reinking over the years. I mean, the family told them back in 2000, they told him that he had been having delusions since 2014. This is documented in the paperwork that I have sitting right in front of me here. The family told deputies this kid, and I can't say a kid, he's a man, had been having delusions since 2014. They knew he had guns. They knew he had mental problems.
Yes,
and then it's just like a dot until Waffle House.
His father is just as guilty as he is. The good Lord didn't have me there. Had I been there, maybe I could have saved 2 or 3 lives. That boy that done what he done, I thank him. I praise him for what he done. Thank God he done what he done. Had I been sitting there, I might have been able to save 2 or 3 lives, because I got my gun in my pocket where you don't see my gun. You don't know what I have in my pocket. And I hope and pray that you would yourself will get your handgun carry permit to stop stuff like this from happening.
Garland, thank you for your call. Thank you for being able to have this dialogue with me. I do appreciate it. And I just think it's so important that we all have this dialogue, because there's no easy answer. I think that we can all agree on that. There is no quick and easy answer to keep these things from happening in the future. And we're just seeing them one after another, it seems like right now. Victoria's on the line. Hi, Victoria.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Go ahead.
I just have a thing, I guess I wanted to say. The dad, I think, has more to do with it, I believe. I mean, if the parents are saying, or, the relatives are, into it, telling deputies, hey, my son has problems. My thing is, why did the deputies do something, put him in the mental hospital, or something like that, instead of just taking the guns away? I mean, especially going back to the father. I mean, I don't think the father should even got the guns back, even, just because,
Sure.
say the son,
it shocked me
without permission.
Yeah, it shocked me that was even an option, that was an option for police to give those guns to a relative who had their Illinois carry permit, and that I don't know if it's a carry permit, they had their gun permit, I think they call it in Illinois, and that they could give those guns to a relative. That shocked me that was even an option for deputies to do.
I just feel like it's just dangerous now. I mean, you can't trust anyone now. And I mean, you try to take your kids out with the restaurant, you try to take them to church, you try to take them to everywhere, but of course, school and church and everywhere is just not safe anymore. And it's just really scary now, I guess. And I just wanted to say, I believe the dad has more than what they're just telling us, I guess, I believe.
Yeah, we were talking in the newsroom last night. We're like, why would he give these guns back to his son? Why would he do that? And I was trying to put myself in his shoes. And I thought, well, maybe, as a parent, you always want to believe the best in your child. You just want to believe that they're going to be okay and they're going to do the right thing. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Maybe the son was leaving town and they're like, just go, take your stuff and go. I don't know. And maybe we'll learn that someday, and maybe we won't. Right now, the family has not spoken, and I do want to reiterate that we have been in contact with our affiliate in Chicago who is monitoring the situation with the family very closely. We have been told by sources that it is tonight that the father could be charged with a federal crime. So we are watching that very closely, and if that happens, of course, we will break that news right here. So keep it tuned right here. We're going to take a quick break. More of your calls coming up after this.